Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to F1 2020 here for round 11 here at Austria. And we have gained a lot of performance since the last episode. The midfield is getting very close now. This car is pretty quick, and as you can see there, we're pretty close to Ferrari. The midfield is also very close. I think there's only like 25 or 50 performance points in it. And we're ever gaining more, as we're just seeing our resource points in practice there. And this weekend I'm feeling very confident about because it's Austria. Probably my best circuit, or one of my best circuits, and got 3 or 4 that I'm very good at. As you can see here, we're remembering before qualifying to put fresh engine components in, using the same ones that we used in France in the previous episode, so our penalty there paying off nicely. But yeah, Austria, very good track, very power based, so this Mercedes power unit should come in very handy. Despite Red Bull having a lot of success at this track over previous years due to its altitude, but I think that's implemented in the game, so that shouldn't be a worry. As we come across the line in Q1, we go fastest on a 103.4. We only needed to do that one run. As we're doing our first run in Q2 now on the mediums, we go really wide at the exit of turn 9 there, and our first lap puts us in P4. Going down the mediums to do a bank lap. Don't really need to do don't worry about tyres or do strategy because the race is fully wet apart from the very end. As you can see, we're improved by 1.3 seconds here at the end of Q2. Do a 103.5, I think, and that puts us P9, so I guess it's through into Q3. And I'm not really surprised about that. If there's one track that we're going to comfortably get through, it's going to be Austria. I love this place, it's so fast and flowing, you can chuck it into corners with very little care in the world actually. Come across to do our bank lap. In Q3 it puts us P6 on a 103.6, not the best lap we could do. And now we're going to come across to start our final lap in qualifying. We're currently in P7 at the moment, hopefully we can improve a few more positions. Going to turn 1 using all of the entry space right up on the curb, jumping over the apex of the corner and then running really wide on the exit to maximise the track space. Hamilton goes pole on a 102.5. Not using as much exit space or curb on the entry to turn 3 as possible. We don't get the best exit, so actually losing time going down the hill into turn 4. Again, we should have gone a bit further to the left to utilise more track space. We don't get the best exit there either, so this has been a pretty sloppy lap so far. We're still green though to our first sector on our delta at the moment. But then we run massively wide through turn 5. Turn 6 is much better than last time, and our exits are much better, so we're gaining time all the way down to turn 8. Lovely couple of corners, chuck it in 6th gear, go up into 7th and then down into 4th. Through the final corner we gain massively out of that corner, much better running with 4.5 tenths up over our previous best lap time. And where did that put us? It puts us in P6. Fantastic result here. I'm very happy with that, but still a second off pole. Mercedes are so quick around here. They dropped into the 1:2s. I could have dropped into the 1:2s. I feel like P4 was definitely on the cards here, but I made a bit of a mess of the lap, maybe even P3. But yeah, that's my bad for not utilising the track as much in the first and second sectors. Currently we are drawing with Carlos Sainz on the rivalry, so that's going well. Getting our team claim up even more. I didn't clock where Jack finished, so we'll have to see where he is on the grid. But let's go now to the race for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 rights and 3 lefts, making up a total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Albon, Sergio Perez, Red, Stroll, Leclerc, Vettel, and Daniel Ricciardo. Gasly, Sainz, Esteban Ocon, and Kvyat, Aitken, Magnussen, Lando Norris, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
And as you can see, it's a bit damp, just a tiny bit. Currently it's heavy rain, which will be going into light rain, and then it'll be dry for the end of the race. I'm hoping that it comes dry as quickly as possible, because we do have a dry setup on. We are going to be altering the front wing a bit though. I believe we're running 2.7 as a dry setup, so we'll be upping that to about 4 or 5.7 wings. Underfueling the car, a bit too much there I think. I think we need to underfuel the car by 4 laps. So I'm going to up that a bit. And we're going to get to changing our setup in a second. See that I'm putting up, I'm going to underfuel it by 3.5 laps because I'm going to be using lean quite a bit. We're actually running 3.7 wings there just to get, because this car doesn't have the best downforce. But we're going to be running 4.7, 5.7, 4.7. There we go. Teasing myself there, not knowing what setup I'm running. No, we're running 5.7 now. Are we? This is our final decision. I'm waiting. I know it's going to change. It will. No, we see to. Yep, yeah, it's gone back to 4.7. Yeah, okay, so we finally made a decision on setup. We're now going to get ready to get underway for the Grand Prix. We actually changed our fuel load as well, going down to 2.5 laps under. We start this out and away we go. We didn't actually change the fuel load. I just can't math properly. We got a pretty decent start compared to Perez. Albon getting caught up behind his teammate, which sort of slows us up a bit, which allows Perez to get right around the outside of us. And now we have to defend from Stroll going into turn 3. Luckily we do so. We get a lot of ground on Perez, and that means we have to go a little bit wide. That allows Stroll to have a little nosy at the inside. We get a very, very squirmy exit going out of turn 3 there, and Stroll gets up the inside. Just checking the drivers that were fighting. It was Stroll and Vettel, I think. Oh no, Vettel's one. I know Vettel's one of them. I don't know who the other one was. Anyway, we're going to be trying to keep with Stroll here, as we run really wide in the dirty air. At this point I was thinking I should have gone with 5.7 wings as we get our first track limits running. Vettel's actually having a look at us here into turn 6, but I quickly closed the door on that move. And yeah, it hasn't been the best of starts. We've lost the position. We lost the position to Stroll. But hopefully we'll have good wet. I know I'm good in the wet, but I don't have a good wet weather setup. Well, I don't have a wet weather setup on at the moment. All I've done is up the front wings. So hopefully we'll be able to get closer to Stroll. He's only a second ahead of us now. Obviously no DRS in these conditions. It's a bit too unsafe. As we go up into turn 3 now, we're very good here on the brakes. See, we gain so much time over Stroll, and then we lose it on the exit because, you know, why wouldn't we? It's a difficult corner in the dry is turn 3, let alone in the wet. And yeah, we're actually gaining on Stroll, so hopefully give it a few more laps and we'll be close enough to challenge for him. One of the Renaults looks like they've had to pit for some first lap contact, don't know who that is. And as we're going through here, Vettel's still keeping us honest, only 5 tenths behind. We're losing a bit to Stroll in the dirtier, so probably not really the best setup. Checking the weather, the rain's getting lighter, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry up, which is not really the news I want to hear. I want to get onto a dry track as quickly as possible. And if you look on the mini map, you'll see a car come to the pits. That's actually my teammate. No idea why he's pitting. I guess he's got front wing damage. Maybe a collision with the Renault. We're going to see if there's any kerfuffling going on at the back of the grid here to give. I see Jack has lost an end plate, so that's the reason for his pit stop. So I was just checking that. Gonna have a look, see if actually anything happened. And yeah, it looks like he's shaping a move. Oh no, he's coming into the pits. Ocon is going around the outside of him. And then Kvyat loses a load of his front wing on the back of my teammate. And that's the general theme. The AI are not very smart when coming to the pits. They take the pits the good boy way. We don't, as you'll see in our pit stop. And see, we've got another yellow flag there, and that's caused by Kvyat coming into the pits this time. As we're going to have a look at this incident now. And having a quick look as we cycle through the long way around all the cars, because why not? You see, coming to this corner, Kvyat pulls over to the right to go into the pits. He obviously brakes because he's trying to stay in the pit entry. One of the Williams goes on that side, and then the Haas just turns in, not realising that the AlphaTauri is slowing down, and now Kevin Magnussen has lost a load of his front wing as well. So it's all kicking off here in this Austrian Grand Prix. As we now got to lap 13, we've closed up to the back of Stroll quite massively. This has just been a massive grind here, trying to keep Stroll within our sights. Perez was so quick in the way, I don't think we'd have caught him or been able to stay with him if we'd have held position on that one. You see, gaining massively on Stroll here. Hopefully we get a decent exit out of this corner. We keep it in third gear for the first time this race, I think. And we get a lovely exit. We've got quite able to overtake and into bridge, so we're going to look to the outside and then dive down the inside going to turn 4. Late on the brakes. Get the car slowed up beautifully and rotated, and there you go, up into P6. That was a very nice move after 14 laps of staying at the back of that racing point. So that was nice to see here. Lap 16 we come to the pits and we don't take the pits out where you always should. We just go through the turn 8 normally, then we just cut across. And I believe we're coming in a lap earlier than everyone else, so hopefully that should give us the undercut over Perez. I was dabbling at the start of this race in maybe doing a one stop until the rain period, but we would have just lost far too much time. So we're going to do the 2 stop, get some fresh rubber on early. 2.5 second stop. I was a bit late on exiting the box there, and we rejoin in P12, although it's going to be close between myself and Ocon. I've realised I've been saying Ocon and Ocon all the time, I guess for variety, but we managed to keep him behind. And as we got to end of lap 18, we actually set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 12.9. The track is starting to dry up, so in about maybe 5-10 laps we should have a dry surface. We're currently in P8, and then Leclerc and Stroll pits, and that puts us back up into P6. And we're only 2 seconds behind Perez. We've pretty much over halved the gap we had to Albon and Perez, but here at 27 they're pitting again, and they're actually pitting for soft compound tyres. And now you may be wondering, why didn't you pit? I mean, I had the call to box, the DRS got enabled rather. I was like, yeah, I'll pit. Jack, no buddy. Yeah, no, you're in P6, you have a potential to maybe get a podium, or at least get P5 or P4. No, you see, I'm going to go out, I'm going to pit before you, because he's nearly a lap down. So after Jack's, despite lackluster performance, but willing to fight and show that he's capable of fighting with us, he's just gone and screwed over our race massively here. I could have double boxed or double stacked, but this game you lose at least 5 seconds stacking cars, and I thought that by staying out I would lose less time, but either or. We weren't able to catch up to the back of Perez, and we can't until the last lap now. We've been driving in anger quite a lot. We're going to be going for fastest lap as we get a purple first sector. Could be using all of our overtake, all of our fuel now. Perez is out of reach. He's been battling with Albon. Albon's been dragging him along the road a bit. Not doing particularly well on this fastest lap attempt. We missed a couple of apexes here. Hamilton's going to come around the final corner now to win the Austrian Grand Prix. I believe it is Hamilton. Oh, it's Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas wins. He does a 1:04.5 as a fastest lap. And I think that's going to be a bit out of reach. We need to be second up, and I think we're only half a second up over our previous best. Going through the final 2 corners now, absolutely flying through here. It is the last lap, we've got plenty of time to battle behind. Run out of ERS and up to the line, we do a 1:05.0. It's not the fastest lap, it's P6, still a good result. A lovely haul of points. But I can't get the feeling out of my head that this could have been so much more if Jack hadn't have pitted when we were ahead of him.
So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to tempo. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs. And that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's take a look at the driver's stand. 4 points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying.
So as you can see, Valtteri Bottas wins over Verstappen and Hamilton. Jack Aitken comes P15. I think what really annoyed me about this is the fact that Jack wasn't even fighting anybody, or even fighting anybody for points as to why he pitted. He just pitted because he was there. But I guess that's luck of the draw. Really, it happens. Yeah, well, I can't control the AI when they pit, but oh well. It happens. Obviously it annoyed me, so maybe that could go against a mark for Jack. But we do retain P8 in the Drivers' Championship, closing up to the back of Kvyat now. Perez jumps Ocon in the Championship. Sainz and Gasly switching places, and Grosjean and Raikkonen also switching places. In the Constructors, we lose a load of ground to AlphaTauri, who are now level on points with Racing Point. We're 7 points behind Renault and quite a way ahead of McLaren. So it's going to be a good scrap there for P4, P3 in the Constructors title, depending on how bad Ferrari are for the remainder of this season. This is post patch in terms of the power performance, so Ferrari do have their nerfed engine, and that is proving that Red Bull only 4 points behind them now. But we do have a very good race compared to Carlos Sainz. We're currently leading the rivalry now, which is always nice, and our team acclaim is getting boosted to level 10 now, so that's going to give us a new sponsor to look at once we get back to the menu screen. And I believe we achieved both sponsor objectives. Yes, we did. So that's another 440k in the bank. once again, another race where I have to pay 50k in damages. And we've got $8.01 million now, which should come in handy when negotiating drivers, and that's only an episode away. We get an engine upgrade, and actually here it is. It's not next race, it's now. But first we're going to add a new sponsor in. So we're going through all of them. And I think we're going to go back with Atlantic, complete 75 laps during a race weekend as a team, good weekly income, good gold bonus, something that we can quite easily achieve. And yes, we do go with them. So we've got some pretty nice sponsors. We're going to add that to the car livery now. Thinking of maybe changing the car livery for Season 2, whenever I get around to doing that. If you've got any ideas for a good colour scheme, let me know. Something different though to what is currently on the grid, because we don't want to be going, you know, full pink, full orange, full black. You know, even though I'd love to have like a black car, Mercedes have already taken that that position, and now we're going to be negotiating a driver contract, and we're going to start off by negotiating with Lando Norris, I think, as we're actually looking. I don't want to go for anyone lower than that. I think the main ones we're looking at are Norris, Russell and Albon, because they're one of the drivers that are quick and are relatively cheap. So we don't really want to be going lower than that, and they're all around 7.5 million, and we have enough to get them. So we're going to have a look there. We're going to eventually get to the negotiation thing. I was actually looking here to see what Jack's done. I forgot I'd done this. We're looking to compare his performances compared to others, and he's not had the best run of performances. This guy's capable of scoring points now because we're comparing them, and Lando's pretty much better than Jack in every way, apart from awareness, I think. So we tried to sign Lando, but we don't have the requirements in terms of aerodynamics, vehicle performance, position, so on and so forth, but we are able to negotiate with Alexander Albon. Red Bull are bidding 5.1 million, we're bidding 5.15, and we're just doing small bids each time, and we're going to see if we can actually get Albon. We have enough money to do it, I believe, and we've actually run out of money for some reason. I guess that overall we've only got $8 million, so that's not enough to sign him. Have a look at Pierre Gasly. He was a potential decision, but then again he's 7.5 million. So we're going to bite the bullet for this season. We're going to go back to Jack. Not that Jack's a bad driver, it's just we want someone with a bit more consistency really, and able to bring this car up to where it should be, which Jack hasn't been doing unfortunately. But we're going to actually give Jack some love here. We're going to do a reaction training for him. As you see, McLaren's actually done improvements to jumpers in the power performance index, so we're going to go with a medium risk. Are we? Or are we going to go low risk? We're going to go medium risk contract offer for Jack, 2.5 million, and he's back on board for the second half of this season. Depending on how he does, as we apply a fabrication upgrade for the chassis, depending on how Aitken does, we could get a new driver in for Season 2, as we get a tyre wear upgrade for the chassis, and that's the only upgrade we're going to be able to do for this race. We've got a couple of upgrades coming soon. As we're advancing time now, we have an invitational event in a 1984 McLaren, which we're going to do. That's an easy 1,000 to claim and $150,000. So yeah, this is a time attack. Basically, you've got to get round Japan short in a certain amount of time. And for this, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you enjoy the sounds of the 1984 McLaren. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that 3.5 minutes or so of ear candy. Now you've got to listen to my croaky voice again. Currently, Carl is telling us he's worried about cash reserves. We only have 500,000, but then once our sponsor money comes in, we're up to 1.62 million. And we're going to the British Grand Prix, which will be next episode. In terms of Austria, happy with it. Renegotiated contract with Jack, got another sponsor on board, so it's been a pretty successful episode. I realise it's come to about half an hour this video now, so we're going to end it here. If you did enjoy the video, please do like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for round 12, I think, the British Grand Prix, next episode very soon.